Here's Triple H.
How you doing, everybody?
Hey.
Good time?
Yeah,
Sure.
it was very.
Right. I usually start out with thank yous, and I'm going to do that again tonight. I'm just going to do it a little bit differently. I want to take a minute to thank our unbelievable talent, whether they were on this show or not. They are a massive, well, they are the reason why we are all here, right? They are the reason for the success. They are the reason for what we do, being loved by fans around the world, right? Everything else is the window dressing on what they do. So my hat's off to our talent, but I also want to thank our crew and staff that make these shows possible. You can not begin to imagine the army of people that it takes to put on a spectacle like WrestleMania, to put on this week's series of events that started here early in the week and just carried on through from, world to the hotels to logistics, the amount of travel logistics and appearances are just, it's an incredible job by all of them. When you talk about the event itself, the amount of crew and staff and riggers and lighting people and sound techs and everything else that it takes to put these shows on, it's incredible. And Nick and I were talking about it a few minutes ago, and we just both decided that that's how I wanted to start this tonight. Is we wanted to put out a message to those people that we cannot do what we do without them. They are tirelessly passionate about WWE as much as anybody else is, whether you're talking about talent, whether you're talking about our fans as well. Like, the people behind the scenes that do this do it because they love it. They're on the road, they're in the office late, they spend time away from their family, their friends. Today is Easter Sunday, but they choose to spend it here with us together, with all of you here together. So, and it doesn't end tonight. We're going to do that again tomorrow. We're going to do that again Tuesday. They'll go home for a whiff, and then we'll be back out on Friday. But they do it for love of this business. They do it for love of entertaining our fans. And the best part is they come in and they do it with a smile on their face, and they're having a blast doing it, and that makes me have a blast doing it. So just sincerely to all of them, thank you for what you do, because you allow WWE to be WWE, and it is one big family, so thank you. For the business items tonight, look out for an official announcement later in the week. But as of right now, WrestleMania smashed records in a big way. Gate, sponsorship, merch, on location, WWE World, social media numbers, all those records got blown away. Early read on viewership is incredibly strong, and I know everybody knows that Nick grew up here. He was an usher at WrestleMania 9. This is his place, and I've told you many times, as an executive, Nick can sort of see into the future in a business way like nobody that I've ever met before, and he was absolutely right once again. Vegas delivered in the biggest way possible. So I'd like to thank Las Vegas and everybody here for what they did. Fans from all over the world coming in for this. It was an incredible weekend, or incredible week actually. Attendance tonight, 63,226, which was another complete sellout. And over the course of 2 days, I believe that total was 124,693. So an incredible 2 days. That does not, as I mentioned before, does not include World and SmackDown and Raw tomorrow and NXT and every event that we had here, including after parties, including going on shortly here, the Tony Hinchcliffe roast, and which will be a lot of fun. It's just an incredible amount of people came in and enjoyed what we do. I will mention one more time, because I thought it was a massive announcement yesterday, but I wanted to mention it one more time. LA, June 7th is going to be an incredible week or incredible day as well. We have Worlds Collide taking place in the Forum, which with the newly acquired AAA promotion, which I'm incredibly excited about. I was speaking to some of our guys today, Penta and Phoenix and all of that, and they are just, they grew up with that. It's that is sort of their home, and to see the excitement that is going to be handled in what they and we believe will be in a bigger and better way. Their excitement level is through the roof, so I cannot wait to deliver that for them. On that same night, we will do Money in the Bank that evening from the Inuit Dome, so that will be a big day. But before we even get to that, Backlash, May 10th, St. Louis. You get to see the new champ there in John Cena. That will be an incredible night as well. As far as tonight's show goes, epic, start to finish, I thought. You want to open a show like this. To me, this is all about pacing. And I mentioned last night about an album, right? It's all about pacing or concert, or what do you want to put out and how do you want to pace it? I don't know that I could have selected a better open than Io, Rhea, and Bianca. Like, just tore it up. I cannot say enough good things about all three of them. They proved why they are three of the biggest stars in WWE, period, not women's division, period. And the reactions showed it and proved it. Drew and Priest was incredible. It delivered on what they've been doing from an aggressive and a hatred and a violence standpoint, so to speak. Again, I thought both of them, Priest just keeps stepping up to another level, and Drew just in the role that he's in continues to crush it and continues to be just a constant at the top of the game. And I want to thank Kerry King for being here and from Slayer, playing him out. That was incredible. Logan Paul, AJ Styles, display of athleticism. I think as AJ has not made it a secret as he enters into the sort of the twilight of his career, just continues to put on phenomenal performances. And Logan Paul just keeps showing the world that he belongs here. As much as everybody dislikes him, as much as everybody wants to say, no, we don't like this guy, this social media influencer coming here and doing our thing. I gotta tell you, hats off to him. He puts in the work, he puts in the effort, he never fails to deliver. And from an entertainment standpoint and from a physical standpoint, he's incredible and has amazing control over drones. So it's all good. We see the women's tag. Great to have Becky Lynch back. Phenomenal night for her. Very, very happy for Lyra. And don't worry, guys. Becky will be Bayley will be just fine. So, true pro. Cannot say enough good things about her. True pro. Braun, Penta, Dominic, Finn just crushed it. Braun Breaker proving that he is the future of this business in so many ways. And Dominic Mysterio, if you would have told people a few years ago when Dominic was standing next to his dad, walking in the door, or Roman was throwing him across the arena during the pandemic, that this kid will be on fire for the next few years, I don't think very many people would have believed it. And if you said to them that he'll be one of the most hated heels in the business, and then at WrestleMania somehow that will flip and everybody will love the fact that he wins the Intercontinental title, I think people might have told you were hanging out with Travis Scott too long. that it would never happen, and here we are. That's a testament to Dominic, how good he is at what he does, how good he is. He's a sponge. And so great to work with, and I'm so happy for him and proud of him. You know, he has done everything. He's an incredibly hard worker, and I'm thrilled for his success. Finn continues to be a constant in this business, and Penta just shines. You know, the future is incredibly bright with him, not only in WWE, but as we expand into AAA and everything else that we are doing, he will be a star. He already is. He just is a star. Let me see here. What did I miss? I missed. Well, let's talk about Randy Orton for a second. You know, in a moment that something beyond our control happens, and no different than with Ray, things happen. People have to step in. In this case with Randy Orton, the storyline, the angst of where we were with Kevin Owens pile driving Randy Orton, him being out for months, him finally coming back, there was just so much anger and aggression there. You really needed something different to make that. I saw a lot of predictions of who it was going to be and what it was going to be. Just incredibly difficult to try to put somebody in the spot to fill that in. It has to be a completely different scenario. And that's where Joe Hendry came in. And to me was the perfect opportunity to put him in there. It allowed Randy to go from being the voices in his head, angry, crazy Randy Orton, to I'm gonna have some fun, and I'm gonna make this kid, and I'm gonna still showcase what I do, and I'm gonna leave him better than he came in. And it was the right thing, right moment, right time, in the right spot, in a show that had a lot of incredible action. To still get incredible action, have a holy crap moment, and sort of take you on that roller coaster ride of everything being up here, and give me something different, something fun, something entertaining. This was the perfect spot for it, and I will just say I love Joe Hendry. He's a great talent, great entertainer, smart, respectful to what we do. Like, he's got a bright future, and I was really, really happy that we could put him in this spot and showcase him for everybody. So on a bigger platform in the world, I told him, I said, you will, right before he walked out, I said, you will be here again, so enjoy this one, because the pressure gets heavy from here. This will be the easiest WrestleMania you ever do, and you will do more. So, well, as of a few moments ago, right before I walked in here, I got handed a stack of papers, so the off season is over, and we are on to Raw tomorrow night, worldwide on Netflix. So make sure everybody watches tomorrow, because there's a lot of, I know the Raw after WrestleMania has become a thing. We're going to make it a thing, and it's going to be big, and there's going to be a lot on it, and it's going to be exciting. So tune in for that, and if you can't wait for that, tomorrow morning, ESPN, from the WWE World, Pat McAfee show with guests John Cena and Paul Heyman. So probably two of the biggest guests that we could give to Pat. He's thrilled to do it. And one other thing that I wanted to mention real quick is Michael Cole just continues to be amazing in the role that he is in. Pat McAfee, to me, continues to be amazing in the role that he is in. I love working with Pat. We're so fortunate to have him here, and I love that. And the last thing I'll mention is I'm so happy for Wade Barrett tonight, his first WrestleMania, commentary-wise, and he crushed it. So I just wanted to make a special mention of that. So with that, I'm going to open it up to questions.
First question will be left-hand side, second row.
Braxton Selvey with LV Sports Biz. WrestleMania 41 has brought in over 180,000 visitors to Las Vegas. How important is that to you in WWE that you have been this impactful on the host city?
Well, I feel terrible about having to do this, but that seems like a quick clickbait question. Like you should be grounded or something. It's massive for what we do. You know, the ability for us to come into a place like Las Vegas, where everybody comes to, it's a destination city, it's already packed, you know, you never come here and go to Vegas and there's not people everywhere. For us to bring in 180,000+ people, it's a lot of people over the course of a weekend, or a week. We bring in a massive amount of revenue, amount of, you know, heads in beds, I believe they call it, people going to restaurants, people spending money, people buying things, people doing all this stuff. It is a massive windfall for the cities, and it's why they bid on what we do. It's why they come in and they bid on WrestleMania, they bid on SummerSlam, they bid on the Royal Rumble to bring us to those cities, because we make it a destination and people come in. And for those cities, the awareness of their city, for the awareness of who they are, and why people should go there, and then the ability to bring in people that are actually there in town is second to none. I don't know of anything that's a whole lot bigger. You know, it's on the same level as things like the Super Bowl, or, you know, to some degree, a longer period of time and more spread out with the Olympics. So it's right up there. It's why WrestleMania is one of the most valuable sports franchises on the face of the earth. So, hey, I'll be honest, that was a good question. It was a good question. Forget the clickbait thing.
Bill Apple from Sports Kingdom.
That's definitely clickbait.
I know you.
All you're trying to do is clickbaits, Bill. I see
Yes,
it.
no, well, you know, our magazines were print bait. Look at the headline.
Bill, you were carving into a stone bait.
Well, since I've been around, since Abraham.
That's true. It's not like it's. He knows.
Yeah, I shot Abraham Lincoln's first match.
Right, exactly.
But anyway, beside that, I want to thank you, because all the congratulations on the Hall of Fame, right, everyone?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the other thing is that for me to do this long, somebody's got to hold my interest, and this company holds my interest. Really does. Really does. So 2 questions. Well, one is a statement, which you don't have to talk about, but thank you for mentioning at your Hall of Fame induction about your father-in-law. Okay, that's part 1. Part 2, I remember taking pictures of you with Chyna way back in the Kilo Kowalski days, and people have always said, why isn't she in the Hall of Fame? And you talked about that the other night. Is it still mentally with you, like maybe she might be in there alone next year?
Well, I don't know about next year, but it's definitely happening.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of people, when you say the Hall of Fame, there are a lot of names that should be in that Hall of Fame and will be in that Hall of Fame. You just can't put them in all at once, right? And I think there will be the right moment. You know, as far as the first comment, none of us will be here.
Yeah.
None of us.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, pretty hard not to mention.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as Joni or Chyna, her contributions to the business alone, you know, when you see it, I can see it in all these women when they get in there. They all, you know, we're at the age, unfortunately, where they all grew up idolizing her, right? And I see it in their work, I see it in their demeanor, I see it in what they think works and doesn't, right? It all, in a lot of ways, stems from that. So she is in the Hall of Fame with the X, but she will be in the Hall of Fame by herself when the time is right, for sure. And, you know, it's just a debate every year of who goes in, when, and how. And you can look no further than Ivan Koloff in that.
Yeah.
Needed to be in there.
I'm so glad you did that finally.
And so am I. Same with Kamala, you know what I mean? Like those, that they need to happen. We just have to be judicious about when and how they happen, so it's done right for everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. And I mess with you all the time. Yeah, I love you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Left side, front row.
Hi, Hunter. Adam Bernard from Screen Rant. How are you? John Cena appeared earlier this week at a Mania pre-party and urged fans to maintain their energy until the main event. And now tonight's energy was night and day from last night. How do you go about building the cards for each half of Mania, considering the energy levels that teeter?
You know, to that point, there is, it's a very tricky build and balance over 2 days. Doing this for 2 days is different than just doing one day and just going in there guns blazing and just fire all your guns and just go, right? Like, that's different. I mean, you gotta fire all your guns, but you gotta get to a place where night two, like you have to get to a place where people are excited to come to night two, and night two actually surpasses a little bit night one. And I don't want that to sound like we're taking our foot off the gas on anything on night one, but it is a challenging build, and I think that you have to build that properly so that by the time you get to the end of night two, because it's not just night one fatigue, it's night two fatigue, and that carries over a lot of people here from both shows. So it's a tricky build. You know, we put a lot of thought, we all do, into what is the right cadence. And as I mentioned last night, you also then have to have stuff for tomorrow, and you have to have stuff for Friday. You cannot just get to the end of the 2-night WrestleMania and be like, wow, they shot off every nuke they possibly could have, that was unbelievable, and now they've got nothing, right? It all has to work together. It's easy to look at it in the minute or the, you know, have that singular focus and say things about stuff, but you have to look at it as a whole. At least that's how we do it. So I thought we did a great job of having it build from one night to the next and carry on through. But always, it's a funny thing sometimes when you talk to people about it and they think like they're saying things or they're criticizing things and that we don't know. There is nobody harder on us than us, I promise you, right? Nobody harder on us. So we look at every single thing we do. It's never perfect. It's never exactly what you want it to be. And there's always, I keep notes while the show is going on and I'm writing things on, you know, the bottom of run sheets and across the back, and it's all stuff that I'll transfer tomorrow, so that there's a running tab of what we want to do differently, what we want to do better, and how. It's just always got to be that way, and it'll always be that way. We're never going to be satisfied because we always want more, and the truth is we always want more. And this will sound cliche, but we want it for you. We're trying to put on the ultimate spectacle that we can across all things and lasting into the future. So we're harder on ourselves than anyone.
Right side, front row.
Emily May. So you spoke previously yesterday and today that you have to look ahead at what's next after WrestleMania. So we have a Raw on Netflix tomorrow, and we just saw John Cena, the champ, say that he's going to ruin wrestling. Do you have a comment?
Well, I hope not. That would stink for all of us. I love where John's head is at. I love that John Cena, he's the flip of a coin right now. And the funny thing is that people were flipping the coin for him before. Now he's flipping the coin, right? So all the things that they booed John, they were relentless on him, they pushed him to be great in some ways, but it was, you know, it was not easy for him sometimes. And I think now he gets to be the puppet master and he gets to flip that coin for them and be the polar opposite of everything that he was before. And I think he's as grumpy as he comes across deep down. And like, it's a funny thing, somebody asked him a question a few minutes ago, boy, you smiled all the time before, now you don't smile. I believe he smiled all the time before, and on the inside he was grumpy. And now the grumpy is on the outside, and on the inside he's smiling at all of you, right? Because now he's flipping the coin. Now he's the puppet master. And as somebody else says all the time, just hang in for the ride. He's controlling. He's driving now, and he's having a blast doing it.
Final question, right-hand side of front row.
Hunter, congratulations on this week. Call Lamar, Billboard magazine. I interviewed Travis Scott earlier this year, and he gushed about his relationship with you and how he's been dying to hit the ring. One, talk about why it was important to incorporate him into the mix for Mania, and then two, is it possible if we could ever see him in a match one day?
So, when celebrities come up and their involvement in WWE, sometimes we would do things years ago, and we were like hiring a celebrity to come in that was just sort of, yeah, I'll do that. I'll get some money and it'll be cool. And we were just getting a little bit of a rub. One of the cool things about right now, Nick and I talk about this all the time, is they're coming to us. Nick will say this a lot. Celebrities used to come to us on the downside, right? They would, as their careers were waning, boxers would come in at the end. Entertainers would come in when they were kind of at the end and they were trying to build it back up. Floyd Mayweather was the first guy to come in when it was on. He was trying to get it on the rise, and he did, right? And he did amazing things. And that's happened a little bit over time. So when it comes to somebody like Travis, who is very, very much like a Bad Bunny, where he is just incredibly passionate about WWE, like incredibly passionate about it. It's, probably, and I'm putting words in his mouth, but I would imagine probably one of the most important things in his life is music. And I would say probably a close second is WWE. That's how into it he is. Same for Bunny, same for Jelly. He's a lot of folks, right? And for me, that's an opportunity for them to come in here, obviously, and put eyeballs, different eyeballs, right? There's a lot of crossover fans between the two, but it's an opening for us to get some different eyeballs on it. But that's the side thing for me. To me, it's like working with somebody like Travis Scott, who has every reason in the world to walk in with an ego and be the biggest star in music and all that stuff, and for him to come in here and put all that aside and be a little kid. Be a little kid living a dream. Be a little kid living out a fantasy, right? To where he can step in the ring and it's all from a respect place. The most crushing thing for Travis in the world would be if he went out there and screwed it up, right? He comes back, he's like a kid at Christmas, giddy and laughing. I don't think he'll get upset at this, but he walked backstage tonight after he was done. He said, dude, I gotta be serious. This is like my full-time job now, I'm telling you, right? And 2 minutes later, I said, see you at work tomorrow. Right? He loves it. And to me, that's what this is all about, right? If he's out there having fun and you feel it and it's good, it's amazing. So no different than our talent. Him going out there and having a good time and doing this, and at the same time lifting up what we do while we hopefully help lift up what he does. That's what this is all about. Same with Bunny, same with Jelly, and I can make a list of other celebrities. We can't do them all, right? And you got to be judicious with how you do it. But so having somebody like him be a part of this, and he's wide open to anything. Right? This guy's the biggest musician in the world. He's out there getting hit with crossroads and, doing all this stuff where if he gets injured, I'm sure that's not helpful to his music career. So it's fully out of a place of respect. And when I see him with our talent, when I see him with our people, when I see him with even our crew and everybody else, he's the most respectful guy and is like a kid in a candy store with all this stuff. So when people are like that makes me want to work hard for them, and it makes me want to help them see that dream come true. As far as the last part of that question you asked, could we see him do more? Could we see him step in the ring? Just got to tune in, right? Just got to tune in. Beautiful part about right now is last season ended. New season starts. believe there's a lot of holy shits coming.
Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. I hope everybody had a great time. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for your participation and being a part of these. Very helpful to everybody. And we'll see you next WrestleMania. Thank you guys.